We just want to make a very quick dedication. I know you all want to give me names, but we're not going to have time for many names. But we're going to do a quick dedication for Aliyat Neshama for Shmuel ben Mordechai, and a refuah shlema for Leah Bracha bat Chana Chaya. And whoever wants to later on give me names, just write it down on a clear handwriting on a piece of paper, and you can give me names that you want me to pray for. Be'ezrat Hashem, once a week I go to very holy graves in Eretz Yisrael where I live, and I pray. But the note has to be with clear handwriting. Sometimes it takes me 10 minutes to figure out what it says. So if you can at least do that courtesy and write it clear, Be'ezrat Hashem. But we're just going to make a very general bracha for everybody who needs refuah and health, should have an immediate recovery and immediate health. And whoever needs a zivug should get married, Be'ezrat Hashem, with the right person. Whoever needs a break in parnasa should have bracha in parnasa. And everything that we need and our heart desires, Be'ezrat Hashem, Hashem will bless you all with an abundance of health and wealth, parnasa, happiness, whatever you wish for yourself that is aligned. Excuse me? Gamli, toda rabba. Toda rabba. This is a month of writing the wish list. You know, every time I go on a trip, Baruch Hashem, Hashem doesn't like me to sit in one place. So every 2 weeks I go on a different trip. My wife barely knows how I look. So they send her pictures, they send her links on Facebook. That's your husband, the one over there. No, that's one, the other one. So every time that I go with empty suitcases, and I come back with full suitcases. So I'm the schlepper. I carry the presents. I'm like the hero when I come back. My wife orders everything on Amazon. I just come with the suitcases. Now I'm the best father in the world. I come with all the presents. So when you go and you shop online, you have a wish list. And you throw everything in the cart, like as if your credit card can sustain such an amount. But you just throw everything in the wish list. So the month of Elul is the wish list. That's when you throw everything into the wish list. That's how they call it in the websites, right? Wish list. So the month of Elul is when you throw in the list all your wishes. Then you have to start praying. So we want to talk a little bit about the month of Elul and how I'm filling up my wish list. And how am I actually getting my wishes? Because we all want to get a blessing. Every opportunity you have, you ask for a bracha. I walk in the street all day long. People stop me, either for selfies or either for a bracha. So I have to smile all day long, and I have to come up with a lot of original brachot. Even though the bracha comes only from the Kadosh Baruch Hu. But we have a tendency that we always want to get a blessing. And you see somebody with a long beard, oh, Rabbi, give me a bracha. Like as if I have a factory of brachot. I have to come and invent all these brachot all day long. But Baruch Hashem, we have a tendency to constantly want to get a bracha. I don't know anyone who went to a big rabbi and told him, Rabbi, I want to give you a blessing. Usually it's give me. So that's the problem, and that's the solution. When you know how to recognize the problem, that's where the solution is. And the problem is me, and give me, and I want, and I need. So that's the problem.
It's because they don't think you're a tzaddik. They know you're a tzaddik, and Hashem.
I'm not talking about me, chas v'shalom. But, you know, the month of Elul is a very special month. And in many places you go, you will see that they teach you that the month of Elul, the name, the word Elul is the acronym of many different verses. And the famous one is Ani ledodi vedodi li. The Aleph, Lamed, Vav, Lamed of Elul is the acronym of Ani ledodi vedodi li. And then of course there's many others, but this is the dominating one. And now everywhere you go, every drasha you hear, every lecture you're going to go, they'll tell you Elul is the acronym of Ani ledodi. So I was trying for many years to figure out why dafka Ani ledodi vedodi li. Ani means me, Dodi is my beloved, talking about Hashem, and then it comes back at me, vedodi li, and Hashem is my beloved for me. And really what's hiding behind this verse, Ani Ledodi, is Ani means me, my existence. Some call it an ego. We call it Yeshut. Yeshut is a selfness. And we all have this ego in me that I think that everything has to be around me. And it's all about me, and what do I get out of it? And I'm the center of the world, 7 billion people in this world, and I'm the center. And everybody has to cater me, and it's all about me. I'm not saying in chas v'shalom to hurt anybody, but I'm just presenting the reality. That if you ever stop to think, we're constantly with ourselves. I can't get rid of myself. Even though sometimes I would wish to have a break from myself, but I can't. I'm stuck with me all day long. And I talk to myself, I wake up, I'm there too. I go to sleep, he's there too. And this me is my existence. And one of the major things we came to do in this world is to destroy this existence, is not to have a me, is not to have an ego. You know, Moshe Rabbeinu, our teacher, everybody in our past, all the big tzaddikim, they got a title. Yosef got the title Yosef HaTzadik. Avram got the title Avinu. David HaMelech, Aaron HaKohen. But Moshe got the word Rabbeinu. Rabbeinu means our teacher. Shmuel HaNavi. We don't have to go through the list of all the titles, but Moshe got the title Rabbeinu. Even though now you walk in the street, if you have a long beard, everybody screams to you, Rabbeinu! But that's not the Rabbeinu we're talking about. We're talking about Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe is our teacher. He came and brought us the Torah. And Moshe Rabbeinu came to teach us one thing. The Torah says, Va'ish haya anav mikol. There was somebody here yesterday who asked, why did the Torah, if Moshe Rabbeinu wrote the Torah, and he was the most humble man ever, how could he write on himself that he's humble? Right? It's a good question. He asked the question yesterday, the gentleman that was sitting here, but then he left. It's like my kids, they ask a question and then they leave. Right? You don't want an answer? So Moshe Rabbeinu came to teach us about one thing, is how to be humble. Is how to not to have any ego, any existence. Avraham Avinu says, Ani afar va'efer. I'm nothing. I'm like the dust. David HaMelech says, V'ani tolat. I'm even worse. I'm like a worm. And Moshe Rabbeinu says, V'nachnu ma. Well, I'm nothing. I don't even have an existence even. The only existence is the master of the universe. And the second that I become an existence, then I push away Hashem. And the month of Elul, we all have the understanding that I have to do tshuva. That's the basic of all. Because all day long, I am busy with my life, and I'm human, and I will do mistakes. I will lie a little bit, I will cheat here and there, I will not be courteous, I'm not going to be charitable, I don't feel like waking up and praying in the minyan, and many other things. And Hashem says, listen, I understand that you're human. Don't pretend you're not. I understand. But at least admit. I'm not expecting you to be a tzaddik. If I would want you to be a tzaddik, then I would fire the Yetzer Hara. You know, you wouldn't have a problem. You will be a tzaddik or tzaddikah. But Hashem says, that's not what I want. I want you to admit. Admitting is saying, I did a mistake. I was wrong. Most people don't know how to admit. They will come up with all the excuses why it was somebody else's fault, or it wasn't my fault, or no, I had pressure. Just say, I'm sorry. I did a mistake. It's not so hard to say I'm sorry. That's why the month of Elul is also called the month of Slichot. I mean, do we have to say sorry to Hashem? Do I really hurt Hashem's feelings? And with all due respect, Hashem doesn't get affected when I do something. If I'm going to not show up to the minyan, or if I'm going to steal or cheat or lie, I'm not affecting Hashem. He's not going to have now a deficiency because I did something wrong. I have to say sorry from everybody around me. And I have to say sorry to Hashem for the fact that I broke my covenant with Him. I don't have to say sorry to Hashem. I didn't make Him lose money. I didn't make Him lose anything. Rather, we have a covenant with the Kadosh Baruch Hu, we have a brit, and if I break the brit, if I break the covenant, then I have to say sorry. I'm sorry that I didn't come up to the terms of the agreement. But really Hashem says, I don't care about myself. I want you to say sorry to everybody around you. For the ones that you screamed at, for the ones that you stole from the ones that you hurt their feelings. That's where we have to come up with the slichot. So comes our teacher, Moshe Rabbeinu, and he teaches us that you have to be humble. And why do you want to be humble? Because that's the only way of getting the bracha that I wish for myself. We're all coming on Rosh Hashanah with a beautiful new suit and a beautiful haircut, all clean, like this, with a piece of paper. Okay, listen, I need $500 million, and I need a wife, and we come with a list of demands. I don't think Hashem laughs like you were laughing now when I come with a list of demands. But we all come on Rosh Hashanah with a list of demands. I need parnasa, I need health, I need a wife, I need kids, I need this, I need success, I need mazal, I need my neighbor to stop bothering me, I need this person to stop suing me. We come with a very long list of demands, and we want Hashem to fulfill that. With Hashem has no problem. The reality is that Hashem can do whatever He wants, whenever He wants, however He wants. We just never give Him the opportunity to do what He actually can do. It's like the person who asked the question and left. He didn't even wait for the answer. We ask Hashem to do so many things, but we don't even give Him the opportunity to act. So when we want to learn about the month of Elul, how do I get the bracha that I want so much for myself? Is the entire month of Elul, I have to work on myself that Ani, my entire existence, my entire reality has to be given to Hashem. Ani ledodi. I'm taking my entire existence and giving it to the Kadosh Baruch Hu. That I don't have any reality of my own. I don't have a desire of myself. I don't want to do anything for myself. It's only for the Kadosh Baruch Hu. In the last 4 months, I had back-to-back tours. I came now to Los Angeles yesterday. 2 weeks break before that, I was 2 weeks in the East Coast. 2 weeks break before that, I was in Europe. 2 weeks break before that in London. Every 2 weeks I go on a trip. And I'm not happy about that. I don't like that. And on this trip I did not want to come. No offense to you. I mean, I know you enjoy my presence, but I did not want to come. And I kept looking for a way how I can get out of this trip. Because I had up to here. I was like, I don't want to go anymore. And on the way to the airport, I was really trying to get out of this trip somehow. Even though there were lectures already booked. The merit is, if you saw this beautiful young lady in the entrance here, my daughter, she came with me. And in her merit, I'm here. Because I wanted to cancel the trip. And I told my wife, I'm canceling the trip. And she's like, but what about your daughter? You already promised you're taking her. So I asked her, if I'm going to cancel the trip, are you going to be very disappointed? So she was like, of course. And I was like, okay.
Thanks for that.
You have to thank her, by the way. On the way out, you thank her. And my wife. Everybody always thanks me. I tell them, don't thank me. Here's my wife's email. Send her an email, tell her you thank her. But I really wanted to get out of the trip. And on the way to the airport, that's when it clicked. That's when I understood that, because I took a taxi to the airport. That's how, sometimes the Yetzer Hara throws things straight into your face. Even I always take a train I live in the north. I live in the north of Israel. I have to take a train to the airport. And there wasn't any trains. Some construction, no trains. So anyways, I take this taxi. He takes me to the airport. I'm very tired, and he's talking like a Polish woman. Doesn't give me a break. And that's when I understood. And in my mind, I was like, why I'm pushed to go on this trip? I really don't want to go. And that's when I realized it has nothing to do with what I want. Nobody's asking me if I want, I don't want. If I had a meeting with Hashem, He would tell me, I'm very sorry to tell you, I don't care what you want. I didn't ask you what you want. I'm telling you what to do. Now you can accept it or not. But that's what's going to happen. And this is what's called in the Hasidic term bitul haratzon, is knowing my own desire. I have a desire, it's called ratzon, I want something, and nobody's asking me if I'm going to get it or not. If I get it, that's a bonus. But it doesn't mean I'm going to get it. And any person that puts in front of him the list of demands, if that list of demands is not equal to the will of Hashem, that person is going to have a lot of disappointments in their life, because it's not parallel to the plan of the master of the universe. And then you start running into brick walls, and things don't work out, and then a person starts becoming disappointed and heartbroken and upset at Hashem. Why is Hashem not letting it happen? So the point is that Moshe Rabbeinu, that comes to teach us about the Torah, comes to teach us the basics of everything. He says, you don't have a ratzon, you don't have a desire. Your desire has to be what Hashem wants. Now when you parallel yourself to Hashem, then His will becomes your will. And that's the main focus in the month of Elul, is that I can wish for myself for something to happen. Hashem says, but that's not in the plan. This is not, we don't have a stop in that line, in this track. And I have to know how to humble myself to a point that I'm running parallel to the divine plan, not to my plan. So we're all coming in the month of Elul, we're all excited. Some of us are not. Some people are not excited at all, because it means now a whole month I have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and say slichot. I don't know much people that are very happy with that. The Ashkenazim are like, yay, we only say 1 week. That's when the Sfaradim are like, I wish I was Polish, I wish. So, it comes every time, everyone has advantages. But then it means everybody's dreading the whole month of, now I have to pray all the time and come to shul all the time and pretend that I'm enjoying it. Everybody's with smiles at 4 o'clock in the morning. Nobody comes up and says, hey guy, are you like me? I wish I could be in bed right now. But the reality is that it's such an auspicious time. It's actually a scary time, because in this month we can design, so to say, my entire next year. I can lay down now the foundation for the entire coming year. How my year is going to be. Full of happiness, sadness, tests, what kind of tests I'm going to have, how severe the tests I'm going to have to go through. We all have to go through tests. We all have to go through challenges. And we all have to go through the ups and downs of this world, of this life. And I'm going to have to struggle with many things. And now I have a whole month to pave the way and saying, okay, that's how my coming year is going to be. My coming year can be very successful, very profitable, very happy, and it can be ches v'shalom, maybe not. So the more that I diminish myself in the month of Elul, the more I create the possibility to receive the unbelievable blessing from Hashem. Baruch Hashem, we are called the children of Hashem. And Hashem blessed me to have 6 beautiful kids. And each one of them is completely different than the other. One kid, before I go on my trips, okay, I want this, I'm not joking, I have a list. If I would have to go and shop for it, I wouldn't have time to even lecture. But he comes with a list, and don't even dare to come home without something missing on the list. I'm exaggerating, of course, but he comes with a list. I want this, I want this, I want that. And then there's another kid that just says, I just want you to come home. And when you come home, I want you to play with me. And when you come home, I want you to take me to swim. It doesn't have a demand of what he wants. Which I love them both equally. It's not that I love one more because he costs me more. But I love them equally. But for the one who doesn't ask, I have much more desire to bring him things, because he's surprised. He's shocked when I give him something. Wow, that's for me? Really? He's not expecting anything, and he's not asking for anything, so he's very happy with what he has. Even if I'll bring him a lollipop, he'll be shocked. Wow, you chose the right color. Unbelievable. And on the other hand, the other one that I love very much, he gets disappointed. Oh, you bought me this brand? But they didn't have the blue. They only had the red. Why couldn't you get two? So it's, it gets that you get discouraged. Like, listen, I just schlepped 40 kilos in suitcases, and you complaining about the color? So I always tell everybody, we think that we came here to educate our kids. Our kids came to educate us. If you think you're educating your kids, you have a mistake. I always look at my kids and I learn from them. And I learn from them a lot of different things. And if you're very observant to look at how your kids behave, you might learn something very interesting. B'ezrat Hashem, the ones that don't have kids, B'ezrat Hashem, we will have kids very soon. But our kids come to teach us. And the problem is, again, we have this problem with our ego, that I think I'm the adult here, I'm the responsible one, I'm the mature, let me teach you. And the reality is that no, Hashem gives me kids so they can teach me. And if I know how to humble myself in front of a 4-year-old or a 7-year-old and to hear their opinion, you'll be surprised how wise these little kids are and what they say, what comes out of their mouth. And I observe my kids' behaviors, and I see how they interact, how they behave, what they talk, and I like learning from them. And one kid, he has no demands. He doesn't ask for anything. He's happy with what he has. And it makes me want to give him much more. More attention, more presents. I feel bad if I didn't bring him enough presents. One complains that the presents are not enough, and the other one doesn't. And at the end of the day, my relationship with Hashem is the same like with my kids. I love my kids unconditionally, even if they do bad things, even if I get a call from the school, even if one behaves not nice with the other person, I will still love my kids equally. I don't have more love for another kid less than the other one. I love them equally. And I love them with all my heart, when the good times and the bad times. Same thing with Hashem. Hashem doesn't look at us and says, oh, you have a longer beard, I like you more than him, and you pray 3 times a day, I like him more than you. This is a misconception. People think that Hashem likes more other people than... There's no such a thing. There's no such a thing. Hashem sees us equally. Doesn't matter what you do, how you are. Of course Hashem wants us all to be following the Torah. Hashem gets sad and disappointed when I don't. But don't let anyone come and tell you, you see Hashem loves him more than him because he's more observant. There's no such a thing. There's really no such a thing. Hashem sees us all equally, exactly the same, and he loves us equally the same. Doesn't matter how you behave right now. There's no question here if one should follow the Torah or not. This is not the topic. Of course everybody has to follow what the Torah says, and the Torah is for everybody. There's no difference between one person and the other. That's the problem with a lot of people, is that they think that the Torah belongs to some people, or it's applicable to one group of people. Whatever it says in the Torah, it's applying for everybody. It doesn't matter who you are, where you came from, how old you are, what's your nationality, what's your race, what's your religion. It doesn't matter. The Torah says don't kill, nobody's allowed to kill. Jews and non-Jews, there's no difference. The Torah says don't steal, nobody's allowed to steal. There's no side note saying if you're between the ages of 42 and 48 and happens to be that you live in the West Coast, you're allowed to steal. It says it in 2 words, lo tignov. That's it, end of story. No questions, no arguments here. So Hashem sees us all equally and loves us equally. So when I look at my relationships with my kids, that's how I learn how Hashem is relating with me. I'm looking at my kids, I'm looking how they behave with each other. You know, when my kids get along, that's the biggest nachat you can ever get. I see them getting along, they're working together. Oh, they can say whatever they want. That's the biggest happiness, to see them together and liking each other and treating each other nice. But when I see them maybe fighting with each other, or chas v'shalom, one is taking from the other, or that's the worst thing that I can look, and to see them fighting. And that's exactly how Hashem looks down at us, and when he sees us all together and united and respecting each other and loving each other and helping each other, oh, Hashem has the biggest nachat. And when He sees us fighting and hating each other and arguing and taking and stealing and cheating, Hashem can't stand that. So sometimes, when you're looking at the list, a lot of people get it wrong. Some people think that they have some type of an in to understand what's in the mind of Hashem, and they think that if you pray 3 times a day and you learn 5 hours a day Torah and you do according to the list, then Hashem likes you more. And it's a misconception, because Hashem says, first I want you to get along. I don't care how much Torah you learn, and I don't care how long your beard is. First, get along. And this is the whole theme of Elul, is how much we can get along. And ultimately, we all come to the same place, that we want to get a blessing. Now, on the way here, just in the hallway, every step that I take, somebody, please give me a bracha. Give me a bracha for this. Give me a bracha for that. Not that Chas v'Shalom, I don't mind. I'm just saying that what drives us is we constantly ask for a blessing. I live in one of the most, if not the most holiest places in the world. I don't want to Chas v'Shalom talk Lashon Hara about Yerushalayim, but I think where I live is holier, in Tzfat. And Chas v'Shalom not talking Lashon Hara about Yerushalayim. Where Bet HaMikdash is. But for 3,000 years, all the biggest sages chose to hang out there, so there's something there. It's a very holy place. 5 minutes from where I live, there's 500 graves. Each one is a bigger tzaddik than the other. People come from all over the world to just touch the graves, just to smell some air of this holy place. And everybody comes they have a problem, they come with a list of demands. And they go and pray, and all these kivrei tzaddikim, and such a holy place. Everybody comes when they have a problem. The reality is that right now, in the year 2017, or to be more precise, to say the year 5777, 99.999, if not 100% of the population of the world are under severe stress and severe problems. I can guarantee to you, I know nobody will do it because being afraid of being shamed, but if we will make now here a vote, I can guarantee to you that nobody can raise their hand and say, my life is beautiful. Very few can say that because they're happy with what Hashem gave them, but the reality is that we all have a lot of problems. And we all struggling in one way or another. And with finance, with health, with relationships, with so many things. Don't need to step now on everybody's toes, but the reality is that we all have some type of a problem, and most of us have maybe 10 of them. And when we're out in a public place, we all put on a nice face and we smile and everything is good. And we think that we're the only one who has problems, and we're looking at everybody and says, oh, I wish I had her life. I wish I had his life. I wish. But the reality is if we would lift the veil, we would be like, oh, no, yeah, stay with your problems. There's a joke, it's not a funny joke, but there's a joke that there was once a guy, and he did everything according to the book. Whatever it says in the book, he did. He prayed 3 times a day, woke up early in the morning, learned Torah, gave charity. He did everything that the book says. He was like the number one citizen. But he had the worst life. Didn't have luck in anything. Anything that he touched was a disaster. And at the end of his life, he walks, crosses the street, and a car hits him and he kills him. He goes up to Shamayim and he comes with demands. He's like, I want to see the boss. How can it be? My whole life I did exactly what the Torah said. I had the worst life in history. I want answers. I want to see God. The angel said, listen, everybody has problems. No, I want to see God. Okay? They take him in to the master of the universe, and he says, how can I help you? He says, listen, it's not fair. I did everything that it says in the Torah, and I had the worst life ever. So Hashem says, what do you want? What do you want? Tell me what you want. He's like, I want to go back there, back down. I want a near-death experience. I want to come down, and I want a good life. And I want my life to be better. So Hashem says, okay, listen. The way the system works is that everybody has to have problems. That's the way the system works. But I'll give you now the option of choosing your own problems. With other people, I don't let them do that. I just give them a sack of problems. And they have to deal with it. That's the rule. But I'll give you a discount and you can choose your own problems. Fair? Yeah. Okay. Go to floor 37. Take a left, take a right. You'll find an angel sitting in one of the doors there. Tell him I sent you. And he will help you. Okay, he goes, he gets to the room, tells the angel, listen, the boss tell me I can come here and choose my own problems. No problem. He opens the door. The guy walks into a huge warehouse that looks like Home Depot. You know, like a lot of aisles and very high shelves that you need like forklift to take it out. And he's like, what's going on here? The angel tells him, this is the warehouse of problems. He says, okay, what am I gonna? He says, listen, you just walk around in the aisles and you choose a sack of problems. That's it? That's what I need to do? Yeah. He starts walking around aisle 1, aisle 2, aisle 3, sees these massive sacks. One is bigger than the other. He says, this time I'm gonna choose the most smallest sack of problems. And he goes there up and down in the aisles and finally, after walking around there, he sees in the corner, like as if somebody pushed there this little bag. He pulls it out and says, this is it. He goes out, tells the angel, that's the one. He's like, okay, sign here. Now go to the boss, tell him which one you chose. So he walks back into Hashem, and Hashem says, no, you chose yourself a bag. He's like, yeah, this one. So Hashem tells him, I see you chose your own bag. So I didn't expect such an audience, but when I heard that joke, I started crying. But the reality is that we all have a sack of problems. And we think that my sack is the biggest one. And when I look at everybody around me, I wish that I would have their life. And I wish I would have their money and their house and their wife and their kids. But the reality is that we all have a sack of problems. And the sack of problems is not for me to whine or to cry or to complain. Is to be happy with what I have. Because Hashem says, I want to give you everything. But if you're not going to know how to appreciate what you have, how are you going to appreciate when I really give you something? And I always give the same example about myself. I grew up in a very wealthy home. My father, Baruch Hashem, was always doing very well. But since I was 12 years old, everything that I wanted, I had to work for it. And my father did not have a problem buying me something. But he did the most smartest move, and up until today, I thank him for that, because he made me work. He told me, you want this? No problem. Paint the fence, I'll buy you that. You want that? Wash the garden. You want this? Wash the car. You'll earn it. And he made me develop the system of appreciating what I have, and not just brushing things off because I got them for free. And Hashem does the exact same thing with us. He says, why should I give you something just for free? You know what's going to happen if I just give you something? You're not going to appreciate it. You're not going to thank me for that. You're going to neglect it. You're going to push it away because it's not good enough. So Hashem does the exact same thing. And He says, I want you to earn it. I want you to appreciate your hard work. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says in the book of the Zohar that why the world was created. Why do we need this whole show? 7,000 years of an entire show. We have to go through exile, through suffering, through all these things. Why? Who needs this headache? So he quotes a verse that says, Ratzah HaKadosh Baruch Hu lezakot et Yisrael. Hashem wanted to give more merits, more zchuyot to the nation of Israel. Lefichach hirba lahem Torah mitzvot. So He gave them a lot of Torah and mitzvahs. And that still doesn't make sense. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says, don't say lezakot. Rather, Hashem ratzah lezakech, to refine, to make it better. The story says that before the world was created, it was just Hashem and all the souls were around Hashem, and Hashem was just giving everything and giving this godly revelation. And at some point the souls felt very discouraged because they just felt that they're getting, and at some point the souls came to Hashem and told Him, listen, all you do is you give to us. We want to do something for you. So Hashem says, no problem. You want to earn what you get? No problem. I'll create a world, I'll put you in bodies, I'll give you a whole list of mitzvot to do, and you earn it. The Zohar says that the feeling that the souls had in front of Hashem, he calls it bread of shame, nehama de ksufa, like a poor person that comes and knocks on your door every day, embarrassed, and asks you for some food. So Hashem says, no problem, I'll make you work for that. And of course, we were like, no. Well, you're taking us seriously? We're joking. But then it was already too late, and Hashem created the world. But the reality is that Hashem says, I want you to earn what you get. There's a Mishnah that says, Ezu Ashir, who's a rich person? And the Mishnah continues, HaSameach Bechelko, that is happy with his portion. So if you're looking at it in a very external way, or a very superficial way, yeah, who's a rich person? A person that is just happy with what he has. He has a little bit of food, he's happy with that. He has something small, a little bit of money, whatever it is, he's happy with what he has. That's why I said before that 99.9% of the people, they feel that they have problems. There is a small fraction of people that they actually accept the yoke, they accept what Hashem gives them, and it says, okay, life is not so good right now, but Baruch Hashem, I have this, and that. And they look at the positive in their life and not in the negative. But really, when you want to read the verse the right way, everything in the Torah has an external layer, what we call chitzoniyut, something that is external, and there's something that is internal, what's called pnimiyut, a very internal thing. You can look now at a person, and you think that you know what that person thinks or what they're going through, but that's very external. You don't know what's going on inside. So everything has an external part of it and an internal part of it. This external part of the verse, it says, Ezu Ashir, who's the rich person, the one who's happy with what he has, that's very external. Then yeah, you have to appreciate what you have. When you actually develop the appreciation of what you have, the little that you have, that's when you create the opportunity to start giving. The analogy with my kid, the one who asks and asks and asks, I'm not going to give him less, but I'm going to give him what he asks. I'm not going to give him more. And the other kid that doesn't ask anything that I'm going to give will be more already, because he's not asking for nothing. Besides the fact that it arouses me to give him more. Same thing here with Hashem. Hashem says, if you only ask all day long, fine, I might give you, I might not. You don't ask, that's when you develop the opportunity to actually get more. But really the pnimiyut, the internal part of this teaching, when it says, Ezu Ashir HaSameach Bechelko, you have to read it completely different. You have to know where to put the comma. And the right place to put the comma is Ezu Ashir HaSameach Bechelko. Then you put a comma, Bechelko shel Chavero. Who's the rich person? The one who's happy with the portion of his friend, not his own portion. And that's where the secret lies, that Hashem says, you want to impress me? Is I want you to get along. I want you to be happy for each other. Because the entire month of Elul is to start forgiving other people that hurt me. And to me to go and apologize to other people. Hashem says, if you're going to come to the synagogue on Yom Kippur, and any sin that you did in front of me, what's called Ben Adam Lamakom, between me and Hashem, Hashem says, I'll forgive you. I will forgive you. For the worst sins, I'll forgive you. But, as long as there's nobody out there that doesn't hold grudge against you or they did not forgive you. If you have some person that is angry with you or that didn't forgive you, I can't forgive you for anything. Don't even come to my shul. So Hashem gives us 40 days to go and clear the field out. So when I come to Yom Kippur and I say, Hashem, forgive me for all the junk that I did the last year, for all the Lashon Hara that I spoke, and all the stealing and lying and cheating, and Hashem says, okay, let me look at the record. Oh, you know what, I'm sorry to tell you, but that guy over there, you hurt his feelings, you didn't ask for apology, and that guy from there, you tricked him in business, and that guy, you talked Lashon Hara about him, I can't forgive you. Go and ask their forgiveness. That's the wall that will stop me from getting my own forgiveness. So Hashem says, I'm giving you 40 days to square everything out. You owe somebody money, go and work it out. You took some money, doesn't matter right now, deliberately or by mistake, then you have to pay it back. You hurt somebody's feelings, go and appease them. Hashem says, first you fix between you and another person. Then you can come to me, and if your record is clean, I'll forgive you for anything. And Hashem says, I will forgive you for anything that you did in front of me, but I can't forgive you for something you did to somebody else. So really, when I want to look at the essence of the month of Elul, it's not what I'm going to get. It's not what I have to do for me to get the bracha. Again, it's constantly, if it's boiled down to me, that I'm going in the wrong direction. That's why the acronym here, when it's talking about Ani Ledodi, means taking the Ani, taking the me, and erasing it, deleting it. There's no me. There's no Ani. But you think Hashem doesn't know that you want money? You think Hashem doesn't know that you need to get married and have kids and have happiness and success and health? Hashem is not ignoring you. He knows exactly what you want. But you have to behave like my young son who doesn't ask much. You know what he tells me? Just spend time with me. Just take me to ride my bike. Sit and read me a story. He doesn't say buy me something. And again, it's not that I like one child more than the other. But the wisdom of a 4-year-old, of a 6-year-old, is that you know how you win Hashem's heart is by saying, I don't want anything. I just want to be with you. I don't want you to bring me anything. And that's when Hashem actually wants to give you. And if Hashem decides not to give you, that's also His decision. And sometimes you have to go on a diet. Sometimes, my younger daughter has a certain lollipop brand that she likes that it's very hard to find in Israel. So when I come, I have a suitcase full of these lollipops, and they're healthy lollipops. No food coloring and no sugar. Organic lollipops. But I come with these bags, and sometimes I find her with like 5 lollipops in their mouth. I just see like sticks out of their mouth. She goes like that, and there's sticks. What are these? So, and I'm like, why are you having 5? If you'll have one at a time, you'll have more to enjoy. Why are you sticking them all in one shot in your mouth? So, that's a common sense of a 4-year-old. Let me put as much as I can in my mouth, then I'll maybe enjoy it more. And again, observe how your little kids behave. You want to put too much in your mouth, you can't even chew. You can't even talk, you can't even smile. She just walks around with sticks hanging out of her mouth, and then her whole face is like red and yellow, and then she touches everything, of course. Hashem says, don't be a chazer. Don't try to put in your mouth too much. I'll give you in the order what you can take, in the quantity what you can handle. And a good parent says, here, you had 2 lollipops today, that's it, you had enough. You can't have 17 lollipops today. This is not food. This is just, a dessert or whatever, something sweet to have. When Hashem takes something away from my life, He knows what He's doing. He knows why He's taking the lollipop away, because it's not good for me. But at the end of the day, I want to understand, I want to know, what do I need to do in this month? Because it is a very auspicious time. It's really the time to fill up my wish list. And it's the time to really get the preparation of how much bracha Hashem is going to give me. And He's going to give me what I need, not what I want. Hashem says, if I'm going to put on my wish list a Bentley, Hashem will say, I don't know if you really need a Bentley. What's wrong with a Honda? It also has 4 wheels, doesn't have more wheels than the other. Not that I'm chas v'shalom putting Bentley down. If you want to drive one, fine, that's not a problem. Hashem gives us what I need. That's why if I want to look at it in a very general way, then I have to be happy with what Hashem gives me, and the more that I appreciate what Hashem gives me, the more Hashem wants to give me more. But really I have to look deep down inside and say, I have to see where I can make space to everybody around me. And this is the secret that lies behind this entire month. Is Hashem says, I want you to get along. Let's see if you can get along. I'm going to put around you all these annoying people, and now let's see if you can get along. If Hashem would want us to not have this issue, He would create 7 billion islands, and each one of us will live on an island and just wave to each other, and that's it. But Hashem says, no, I'm going to put you on the same island. I'm going to put 500 million people on the same island. Now they're going to start eating each other. Now let's see if you can get along. And if you can love each other and create space to each other and appreciate and respect each other and give each other their space. Now, let's see you do that. So Hashem comes and tells us in the month of Elul, you are paving your road, you are creating what's called the vessel, that through this vessel, you will get the blessing in the next coming year. We all want a blessing. Let's not kid ourselves. We want to be healthy, we want to be happy, we want to have sustenance, we have parnasa, we want an easy life. That's what I hear all the time. I'm not looking for much, just the bare minimum. The thing is that right now you have the bare minimum, so you have to be happy with what you have, and Hashem will give you more. But Hashem says, just work on yourself. Just first make room for another person. Make room for another person to grow and to shine. And make space for other people and start forgiving everybody. Somebody cheated you in money, don't hold grudge. That wasn't your money to start with. Somebody did something for you, something went against you. It seems to you like they went against you. Nobody went against you. They're just the messenger, the shaliach, that actually was used by Hashem to whatever Hashem wanted to do. So we want to take the hint that's in this month, in the Ani Ledodi Vedodi Li, in the Ani, my entire existence has to be completely given over to Hashem. That I want to look inside myself, and if you're looking at the external way, what I need to do is I have to say, yes, it's the month of tshuva. I have to see, what did I do wrong this year? And only you can really know what you did wrong. You don't have to come and tell me what you did wrong. You have to tell yourself what you did wrong. That's why we say slichot the entire month, because in slichot, every couple paragraph, we say something that is called vidui, confession. We confess. And Hashem says, I don't need you to come and explain why you're just confess. Just admit. Just say, I was wrong. That's what Hashem wants. I'm the one who gave you the Yetzer Hara. I sent you the desire. I sent you the temptation. I just want you to be humble and say, I was wrong. Again, going back to the example with my kids. Baruch Hashem, I have three boys and 3 girls, and boys are boys. I'm not expecting my boys to be angels. Boys, they fight, they get in trouble. One boy, he likes getting in trouble. The other boy also likes getting in trouble. The difference between one and the other, one admits and the other one comes with excuses. The first one just says, yeah, I didn't feel like it. That's it. Straight out. Why did you do that? Because I wanted to. Oh, that I like. The other one, no, he said, and no, and it wasn't my fault, it was his fault, and he told him, and him. I don't care about your excuses. Just come and say, I'm sorry, I messed up. I give more respect to the other one that just comes and says, what do you want me to start telling you stories? That's what I did, that's it, end the story. So, same thing again with Hashem. Hashem doesn't like excuses. I didn't feel like it, I had pressure, I didn't want to, my wife was driving me crazy, whatever it is. It's not very easy to come with excuses. Hashem says, I don't want excuses, I want you to admit. Once you admit, I'll take the blame already. So, of course we want to do what's called cheshbon nefesh. I want to make some type of an account. What did I do this year? Was I 100% honest the entire year? No. And you have to be honest with yourself. That's why again, is releasing this ani, this ego. I can't do the right account if I'm not honest. I have to be honest with myself. I can lie to anybody, not that I'm suggesting to lie, but I'm saying I can technically lie to anyone, but really I can't lie to myself. And if I lie to myself, I'm doing the worst thing I can do for myself is to lie to myself. If I want to get better in something, it's only if I'm 100% honest and saying, no, let's cut to the chase, let's put everything on the table, and I can't lie here. And yes, I'm not so honest. I have to lie much less. And yes, I talk a lot of Lashon Hara. And it seems like something very simple, Lashon Hara. Lashon Hara is not a simple thing. This is why it's one of the worst sins in the book. The reality in Lashon Hara is why it's so bad, is because I'm taking this negative power and I'm arousing it in the person that I'm talking about them. Lashon Hara is slandering. It's to talk bad about somebody. And I'm bringing this negative energy into the world. We talked about it yesterday, that whatever energy that I produce, then I throw into the world, that's the energy that comes back at me. Take now a ball and throw it at the wall, the ball will come back. And depends on the wall and depends on the ball. Sometimes it will come stronger than what you threw it at the wall. So whatever energy you throw to the world, that's the energy the world will throw back at you. Shlomo HaMelech, King Solomon, who was the most wisest man ever lived, he says, Kamayim apanim el apanim. When you look at the older days, they didn't have mirrors like we have. They used to look into the water and see the reflection on the water. So Shlomo HaMelech says, Kamayim apanim, when I'm looking at the water and I see a reflection, basically in our terminology, I would look in a mirror, and if I'm smiling to the person in the mirror, then the one in the mirror will smile back at me. And if I wave my hand to the person in the mirror, the person in the mirror will wave their hand back at me. You can't cheat the mirror. You can't go like this and the mirror will get confused for a second. So whatever you do, the mirror will react 100% because the mirror is a reflection. It's a mirror. I know some people, but that's how I was when I was young. I thought I can cheat the mirror. I would go like that and think that maybe I can confuse the guy in the mirror. Until I figured out, no, that's me. Who am I lying to? Trying to lie to me. So Hashem says this world is a mirror. Whatever you throw out there comes back at you. That's how it is. You smile to the world will smile at you. You'll curse to the world will curse at you. That's how it works. Try it out one day. Just to throw constantly this positive energy into the world, you'll see what energy comes back at you. You know, yesterday I landed. Hashem likes putting me constantly through tests. I don't know what He has with me. Some type of constantly putting me into these different tests, like everybody, right? I'm not different. So I land, and I rented a car, and when I came, everything that can go wrong went wrong. I came late, and I never heard of such a thing. She told me, you're late, we can't give you a car. I'm late, you can't give me a car. I made a reservation. No, so we charge you more. Where does it say that if I come late, you charge me more? Anyways, anything that can go wrong went wrong. I ordered a certain car, they didn't have it. All these little things. Then I put my credit card. You know, now the credit cards have these chip. I didn't have my PIN. I just said, just swipe it. No, we can't swipe it. Anything. So, and you know, I know sometimes how Hashem tests you. And in my mind I was like, this lady now is controlling my destiny, so to say, right? If I would be on her best side right now, she can do technically whatever she wants. The lady behind the counter, right? So, not that I did it in a not nice way, but all it took is just a few nice words, a nice smile, good attitude. You can't even believe what she did to help me. You can't even believe. And that's all it took. And I could now take my own, not that I have it, but I'm just giving you the example. I could take my own anger, my own frustration. I was tired after a 16-hour flight. I could take all my junk and throw it at her. You know what I would get? I would walk out of this place without a car. That's it, right? And I would have to now, with 3 suitcases, look for a car rental. Instead of taking not that I have it, I'm giving an example. I could take my frustration, my anger, me being tired, things not working out, I completely ignored it. I still was smiling at her, how are you, Baruch Hashem, and I was talking to her like a human being. That's a problem that we have, that we talk to other people like they're not human beings, like I'm the human being and they're the ape. And that's how we treat people. I mean, I'm not chas v'shalom putting anybody down, but the reality is, check yourself how you treat other people. If you're going to treat other human beings like human beings, you know what? You're going to have a surprise. They're going to treat you nice back. But we treat people like garbage, and then we expect them to bow down. So the proof was that I talked to her nice, with respect, I smiled, I was friendly with her. And I didn't do it to get with an agenda. I just did it honestly, because she's another human being. I never met her, and I'll probably never see her ever again. And I'm not talking about now Kiddush Hashem, of putting, showing that, I'm actually a mensch. In the end, we became very friendly. She went so out of her way to help me, and I ended up getting the exact car that I wanted with a better price. Everything worked out. Because sometimes the other person has the key. And if you're throwing your junk at that other person, they'll back up and say, I don't want to help you. But if you know, all it takes is a few nice words and a nice smile, but genuine, that person will do the world to you. And she really went out of her way to help me in an unbelievable way. And then I just said the magical word. I don't even know where it came from. I just tell you are my saving angel today. Oh, that's it. I called her an angel. That's it. The price went down 20%.
For a bigger car.
Yeah, and a bigger car. Yeah. So not that I did it with an agenda. It was genuine because I tried to mimic my Creator. It says that we were created in the image of God. Then you have to mimic God. And God loves everybody. He doesn't judge people. He doesn't get upset with people. He doesn't hold grudge. He's not revenging. God is the ultimate love. Just try to behave one day like a God, lehavdil of course, not to compare, and you'll see how the world is reflecting at you. Suddenly everything will be different. You throw this good energy into the world, that's the energy the world is going to throw at you. You can walk into a room with a stinky energy because everybody annoyed you this day, and that's the energy you're coming into the room is not going to accept you. Nobody's going to accept your energy. Nobody wants to deal with your problems. So you're going to get kicked out. I'm talking about spiritually right now, not physically. This whole month is about looking in myself and doing an account for myself, not to look for who's in blame. When a lot of people come to me for marital problems, and I will always sit the couple separately. First let me hear the husband, let me hear the wife, then let me put them together. And 99% of the time she's annoying, he's a slob, she's a mess, he. Nobody ever comes and says, you know what, I'm sorry to say, I know I'm hard, I know I'm difficult. Nobody says that. They all blame each other. You know, when I go on these trips, we always make days that I meet people. So not on the previous trip, I had a day, we had meetings back to back. One guy walks in, and he comes and tells me, Rabbi, I need you to help me. My wife is driving me nuts. Okay, we talk, and then he tells me, my kids, they don't have zero respect to me. And they don't listen to me. And my employee, and my this. And he was complaining about the entire world. And I'm sitting and looking at him, and I'm like, my gosh. The next guy who walks in tells me, I need advice. I don't have patience to my wife. She's such a good wife. I just don't have patience. I always scream. And my kids are such good kids, but I lose my temper with them. And all he said is, I have the problem. I have a problem with the anger. I'm impatient. I can't. And I was like, wow, look at that. Like one normal guy. He takes the blame on himself instead of blaming everybody else. So comes the month in Elul and says, you want to clear things out, is you have to look inside yourself. In one way you have to look at it is that you have to cancel my ani, my ego. Nobody cares about your ego. You have to leave him out. But more than that, when I want to really look out, is I have to look inside and see, if I have an argument with somebody, where did I go wrong? And if something did something to me, maybe I did something. I'm not saying chas v'shalom to be OCD and to take everything to, some people they take all the blame on themselves. That's not healthy. That's more what I'm saying. But I have to make a clear and honest self-assessment of myself to see where am I going wrong. Maybe I did something wrong. In any situation, was I 100%? Maybe I could be better. Maybe I could be a little bit less tough. Maybe I could give in. Maybe I could give up. Whatever it is. So the energy of the month is that we have a whole month with a very special energy that if I know how to tap into that energy, I can achieve unbelievable success. And Hashem says, just clear out the dirt. And the dirt is usually coming from me, not from anybody else. It's very easy to point a finger, and it's the hardest to admit. To point a finger is very easy. Who did it? Him. That's like my young daughter. Come into the room, who did that? He. Not you, didn't do anything. No, I didn't do anything. So, and again, I told you, I have no problems with my kids. I love them all. They just make me laugh all the time. Because kids think that you're stupid. They don't understand that once I was a kid too. I know all the answers. And one of my daughters, she's like, anything you'll ask her, she did it. But you were only one in the room. And she was like, she was here before. Hashem doesn't like that either. Don't come with excuses. Just know how to say, okay, I did it. I messed up. I messed up and I will clean the mess too. So we have a very special energy in this month that allows us to clean the garbage. On Pesach we clean the house. On Elul we clean the inside. And if you want to come to the day, or the Judgment Day, which sounds very scary, Judgment Day, and one should take it very seriously. One should not take this Judgment Day so easily. This is not just for nothing called Judgment Day. It's when the books are open and Hashem is looking down and saying, okay, let's see what's going on here. But I have a whole month to clear it out, to do tshuva. When you do tshuva, you clear out the record. Now there are two ways of doing tshuva. There's a high level of tshuva that is called tshuva ila'ah. A tshuva from love. Ila'ah means a higher level. And a tshuva tata'ah, a lower level tshuva. That's more tshuva from fear, and I'm afraid to be punished. My analogy to these two levels of tshuva, Hashem brought us technology into the world so that we can relate with how Hashem wants us to behave. So Baruch Hashem, you're all using computers, so the analogy that I have with these two levels of tshuva, you can have a folder with a lot of files on your desktop. You take this folder and you throw it to the trash. Right now, that's it. You threw this folder. But it's still in the trash. And at any given moment, you can go to the trash and pull that folder and all these files out of the trash. This is a lower level tshuva. That you got rid of the dirt, but it's still there. You just pushed it somewhere. But a higher level tshuva is that you empty your trash. That's it. You got rid of these files. You got rid of it. You can't retrieve it. You can't recover it. That's a high level tshuva. That you completely get rid of the trash. And it's not sitting in the trash. You empty the trash. And that's what we can achieve on the month of Elul, that you can literally empty your trash and come to the first day of Tishrei, the Judgment Day, and I have no records. It's all clean. I did my tshuva. I'm coming here completely clean. Now, can you imagine what type of a vessel I am, to what bracha I can receive now from the Master of the Universe? And if I'm looking at it in a selfish way, I need some to get a blessing, because I want my life to be easier and smoother and better. But when I don't pray for myself too much, I just do what I'm supposed to do, that's when I really get my bracha. And when I really want to focus, we're still in the beginning of the month, we have another whole month in front of us. The point is not to wake up 2 days before Rosh Hashanah and say, oh, I forgot. It's to take advantage. I have still a whole month to start working. Every day I'm going to add one more thing and another thing, and I'm going to work on myself, and let me do an analogy. Where can I get better? What did I do wrong the entire year? Where can I grow? How can I make space for other people to grow around me? How can I make my surrounding, my life, my community, my house, how can I make that much better? When I'm much less selfish, it's very easy to say, Hashem, I want this, I want that, I want this, forgive me for this, forgive me for that. I find it that when you make space to other people first, that's when Hashem pushes everything away and says, okay, let me concentrate on you. So we want to take this month, it's a very auspicious time to make organization in my closet. And to really go through my entire year, see where I can get better, where I can add more, where I can grow, and mainly where I can make space for everybody around me, because this is really what Hashem wants. Hashem says, you want to impress me? Get along. Don't be so judgmental. Don't be so jealous. Don't be so angry. Don't hold grudge. Don't create this separation. In most cases, it never happened different, but in most cases, Elul comes after the month of Av. It never skips. It usually, and the month of Av is to commemorate the destruction of the temple. And why was the temple destroyed? Because Sinat Chinam. Because hating another person with no reason. The first temple was destroyed from 3 sins: idol worship, bloodshed, and forbidden relations. Since the sin was revealed, then the length of the exile was revealed. When they left Yerushalayim, the Prophet told them, you're going to be out of Yerushalayim for 70 years. And that's what happened. 67 years later was the story with Purim. 3 years after that, marking 70 years, they came back to Yerushalayim. Very simple. The second temple got destroyed from sinat chinam, from hating another person for no reason. And since the sin is not revealed, then the length of the exile is not revealed. We are now still having the same problem. We're already at the moment that Mashiach can come any second. The reason why we all have problems, and everybody has problems, some people have 20, 30, 40, 60 things they're dealing at the same time. Don't think it's only you. Everybody has problems. I always say it and I repeat it and I repeat it. Baruch Hashem, we're very, very active online and many different things that we do. We have such a huge, large following that on an average day, my system gets about 1,000 to 2,000 messages. That's an average day. Just before, the lady said, I emailed you, I didn't get an answer. Yeah, because 5,000 people emailed me before you. And there's only 5 girls that answering emails. So that's the amount of emails and calls and messages that come in every day. People tell me, you don't have a phone? Oh, if I would have a phone. The phone I would have to carry with me batteries just to sustain the phone, not to hang up. That's it. I don't have a phone anymore. I don't want to have a phone. I don't have enough minutes a day. No company would allow me to have how do you call it? A plan. So why am I telling you all that? Because from the thousands and thousands of messages that we get every day, I never get one message of saying, hello, I just wanted to tell you everything's okay. I never got such a message. I actually have to correct myself because a few weeks ago I said the exact same thing in a lecture, and one nice lady sent me an email and said, I sat in that lecture that day, I just wanted to tell you everything's okay. But the reality is that I never got such a message. All the messages are devastating stories. I need to buy like boxes of tissues when I go and read all the messages. Every story is worse than the other. Everybody's suffering. Everybody's going through challenges. Everybody is pressed to the wall. Not because you did something. Don't let somebody come and tell you, oh, you did something, Hashem is punishing you. Hashem is not a 3rd grade teacher that punishes you because you spoke and throws you out of the class. Hashem is pushing everybody to a corner because He wants everybody to understand that that's it. Mashiach is coming. That's time to polish it all up, and that's it. And we're leaving. Look at the first redemption that we have 3,400 years ago in Mitzrayim. They were suffering too. They lived in Los Angeles. Instead of driving Bentleys, they had donkeys. Instead of iPhones, they had bricks. Nothing changed, just the fashion. But they lived in a beautiful city, full of money, full of wealth. They didn't have Hollywood, but they had a whole Hollywood system there too. Nothing changed. Just the fashion and the phones. And they also were slaves. Like we are slaves. We are slaves to the bank, to the phone company, to the leasing company, to the mortgage, where nothing changed. They also had a Redeemer that came to get them out of their exile, and we also have one. So Hashem is pushing us to a wall, and everybody is now pressed in some way or another, not to whine, not to cry, not to look for solutions, to understand that that's it, this is the end, and Hashem is now polishing the edges. So instead of wishing for myself, for my business to be successful, and instead of wishing myself to all these things, which is nothing wrong with that, is rather I should wish for myself to have the merit to see the coming of Mashiach. Because Mashiach is going to change everything. People come and tell me, I can't have kids. Pray for Mashiach. No, but I can't have kids. Pray for Mashiach. But I can't have Pray for Mashiach. What don't you understand here? Mashiach is going to be one who's going to give you the bracha. I can't get married. Pray for Mashiach. I don't have parnasah. Pray for Mashiach. So Hashem wants us to pray. When everything is good, you don't show up to shul. You know, when there's prosperity, the shuls are empty. When there's a depression, shuls are full. Everybody comes and they hug the Sefer Torah and they hold the curtain. What's going on? Suddenly you become very religious because because there's no money. So we want to take this month to really understand where we're holding, to see the vision of what's waiting for us, and to finally understand we're not little kids anymore that Hashem is going to patch me on my hand because I did something. That's not the point to concentrate on. And don't get me wrong, I'm giving you now a leeway to do whatever you want. Lehefech, we should grow stronger. We should add more Torah in our life, more mitzvot, to be more observant, more particular. I mean, look at me. People tell me you're fanatic. Yeah, I am. There's a reason for that. I'm not telling you now go become loose. Lehefech, we have to be stronger in Torah and mitzvot. But my agenda is not how bad I am or how good I am. My agenda is how am I making space for the entire world to coexist. How am I making space for you to shine in your element and for you to shine and for you to shine? And it's not all about me. Somebody gave me a very interesting comment, a very interesting compliment a few Shabbases ago. Baruch Hashem, we have a beautiful center in Tzfat, beautiful Shabbat meals. Mazal Hashem, I hope you can come and visit us and enjoy them. And somebody came to me not too long ago and told me, you know why I enjoy coming to your Shabbat meal? Because the Shabbat meal is not about you. It's not about you. You don't give the energy that, listen to me, I have to talk, you came to me, it's my table. He's like, you let everybody be a star in your table. You let everybody have their couple moments of fame. You don't give this energy of like, I'm the owner here, I'm feeding you. And I was like, that's a very interesting comment, because I want my guests to feel that, don't feel intimidated, don't feel that you owe me now because I fed you, or you have to listen to me because I know more Torah. And this comment, this compliment was so nice to hear, that a person says, I like coming here because I feel comfortable here. And I'm not being judged, how I'm dressed, how I look. I have a blue yarmulke, a green yarmulke, white yarmulke, no yarmulke. You don't care who I am or how I am. And that's the reality, is that we have to know how to make space for everybody around me. I'm not better than anyone. That's the ultimate teachings of Moshe Rabbeinu, who technically can come and say, I'm better than all of you. I talk to Hashem. He didn't have that attitude. He didn't have this ge'avah, this pride that, oh, I'm so great. He saw how great everybody is. And he looked at every person and says, you are much better than me in something. You are much better than me. I'm good. I know what I'm good at. But I'm not good at everything. And every individual possesses something, a quality that is 100 times better than me. And if I'm able to look at every individual and see the beauty and the greatness in each and every person, because Hashem can recognize that, who am I to ignore it? And if I know how to make every person shine in their way, that's when I'm really preparing the space for the world to shine. Is to removing this ego, removing this me and it's all about me. That's why you see in our generation, it's all around, even our devices is iPhone, iMac, iPad, it's only I. Even though now people can argue with that, there's a Galaxy, there's a this, there's all the other, but the ones who came out with it is the I. Everything is me. So comes the month of Elul, and now's the opportunity to break it, to completely annul it, to completely break this energy of it's not about me, it's about everybody around me, and then everything that comes to me will fall through. That's ultimately how we get to Hashem's heart, is when I totally annul myself. I have no desires, I have no wishes, I have nothing. I want to do what Hashem wants me to do. Hashem wants me to go now to 2 weeks to Los Angeles, I'll go. I have no say here. I'd rather come 2 weeks to Los Angeles and be hosted in such beautiful communities than to suffer somewhere else in something that Hashem says, you choose how you want to be uncomfortable. You want to be uncomfortable in a holy way, or you want to be uncomfortable in a not nice way? So we want to make a cheshbon, we want to make an account. Where am I holding? I can't ignore the fact that I have to follow the Torah. what the Torah tells me to do, I have to follow it. And the more I follow it, the more smoother the ride is. The biggest thing that people have a problem with is that they don't know what to do. They seek for advice. That's the biggest problem. The problem itself, that's one thing. The solution, that is a different problem. And most people go to other people to look for advice. What should I do? Should I do this or should I do that? That's the million-dollar question. The problem is going to stay. The solution is, what should I do? And everybody goes and looks for advice for the wise man that will tell you what is the right thing to do. And the reality is that the only one who can tell you what's the right thing to do is Hashem. Only Hashem can tell you what's the right thing to do. And how is He going to tell it to you? Through you. Not through another person. And not through the tarot reading and all this nonsense. And people go to fortune tellers and hand reading and face reading. Nobody knows what they're talking about. And you know, in Hebrew we say Ovdei Etzot. We work for advice and we're looking for the short advice and the easy way out. Hashem says, I have the answer for you. Just know which button to press. If you know which button to press, or should I say in our terminology, how to connect myself to the right network, you know, now every time that I land, especially when I travel a lot, you know, we don't even notice how we're depending on this technology. 10 years ago, nobody had all this technology. Now, if you don't have for 1 second data or Wi-Fi, oh my gosh, I ran out of Wi-Fi. You don't have Wi-Fi here? What's going on with you? You're walking into a restaurant, what's your Wi-Fi? Well, relax. Once it was, do you have a bathroom? Now it's like, do you have Wi-Fi? No. Okay, goodbye. That's how much we are slaves to this world. If I don't have data for 2 minutes, oh my God, the world is collapsing. What's going to happen if there's going to be a power outage for 10 days? How are we going to survive without texting all these emojis? How do you call them? The smileys? Emojis. If I'm not going to text for 1 second some stupid face with a tongue out, and this is to what we came to. That all day long we're sending each other these character traits with all sorts of funny faces. That's what became of us. So, I mean, just imagine Hashem is looking from above and saying, this is why I sent you technology? To send each other smiley faces with tongues out and all sorts of... So every time that I land in a different airport, right away I need data. I need to be connected to Wi-Fi. And I can, you know how you walk with your phone and it recognizes all the Wi-Fis around you, but all of them have the lock, and you're like, you're looking for the one without the lock, like as if somebody's going to be a sucker and leave his Wi-Fi open. Where I live, somebody named their network, how did he say it? I'm not giving you free internet, something like that. That's the name of the network. Find your own internet, something like that. Funny name for the network. But the reality is we're always looking for the network to connect, so I have connection. Hashem says, learn how to connect to me. I'll give you all the Wi-Fi, all the data you need. Just know how to connect to me. It's 1-800, call Hashem. So Hashem says, just connect yourself to my network. I'll give you all the answers you need. You're not going to have all these problems of, should I do this, should I do that? Half of the people that they turn to me with questions is with basic things. Should I learn to be a lawyer or should I learn to be a doctor? Should I live here or should I live here? Should I marry him or should I marry him? We just don't know how to connect ourselves to the source of answers. All it takes is to connect yourself to Hashem. Hashem is going to give you all the answers you need. Hashem has all the ways, all the creativity ways to give you your answer. You just need to know to which network to get connected. And you get connected to the network by connecting yourself to the master of universe, who's the source of information. It's very simple. But we go around in circles, and when the answer is right in front of me. Sometimes I see, again, going back to my kids, I see them, asking a million questions here and there, and I tell them, I have the answer. Why don't you come directly to me? I will be glad to give you the answer. Why are you going and looking for it somewhere else? So So we need to know how to connect myself to the source. The source is Hashem. Hashem is the source of our solutions, of our problems, of everything. And now we have an auspicious time, a real 90% off coupon for 30 days. That Hashem says, now just all I need you to do is to humble yourself, is to admit. That's what I'm asking. Just admit. Don't come with excuses right now. My life was hard, this was happening, that doesn't matter. Just admit. When you admit, 90% of the weight just went off. And mainly we have to look around us and say, where in every situation I can remove the me to make space for the you. And for you, and for you, and for everybody else. And the more you make space for other people, you see that your space grows. You know, there's a Mishnah that says that there were 10 miracles in Yerushalayim. And one miracle was that people would stand very squashed, but they were able to bow down. עומדים צפופים ומשתחווים רווחים. And in the times of the Beit HaMikdash, they would bow down, lying down on their body. Not bowing down like that. Lying down on your stomach, spreading your hands out, that's bowing. How can such a miracle happen? You ever saw the measurements of the Beit HaMikdash? How can you have thousands of people bowing down there? So you can learn from the literal level, but you can look at the internal part of this Mishnah that teaches you that if you bow down to each other, you humble yourself in front of each other, there's room for everybody. And when you don't know how to bow down to each other, we don't bow down to people. Bowing down is I'm lowering my ego. I'm lowering myself in front of you. You are probably much better than me in many other things. It's very easy to come and say, oh, I know so much of this and I'm so successful here and there. That's very easy to do. But to know how to lower yourself in front of another person and make the other person space, that's when you make the space. That's when everything becomes very large. You can live in a 17-room mansion and still be separated and distant from your wife and kids. And you can live in a studio apartment. You know, at one period in my life, I lived in a studio apartment with 5 kids. And it was the best time of my life. And up until today, my wife and me were like, that was the best 3 months we ever had. In a studio apartment, a quarter of this room with 5 kids. And we slept on the floor all together. Every day we had parties. Every day we had music and we were dancing. We have videos of that. It was the best period of our life because we learned how to make space for everybody. And when you let somebody share your space, then your space becomes bigger. Because theoretically, now there's more people in your space. And when you push everybody away from your space, then your space becomes very, very small. So you can live in a 17,000 square feet mansion and you'll still be squashed into your own 4 corners. So Hashem comes and tells you, don't pray to have all the list of things that you want. I know what you want. Trust me. You don't have to make a list. I know what you want. I want you to pray for his success and for her health and for his happiness and for his life to be better. And I want you to make space for everybody. And I want you all to be together and united, and then you'll have the biggest blessing ever. And that's what we need to concentrate on. Because the ultimate blessing is only going to be when Mashiach comes. The only way to bring Mashiach is only by spreading this love and respect and space for anybody else. If we don't know how to do it, we'll stay in the same problems that we are. We want to cut the problems short, as we have to start bowing down to each other. Not bowing. Don't take me literally. Start bowing to people. That's not what I'm talking about. Bowing down is you're lowering your ego in front of another person. You're lowering your own selfness. It makes space for any other people to shine. It's not about me. I have to kill this ani. This entire ani means me, goes to the ledodi, goes to Hashem. What Hashem wants me to do, I'll do. And then the rest Hashem is going to do for me. Bezrat Hashem, all is left is to wish you an unbelievable successful journey, to have an unbelievable month, that all your goals will be achieved. And you have to understand that whatever didn't do the entire 11 months. That's the time to do it. The Mishnah gives an unbelievable hint. It says about a young woman that gets engaged. The term that the Mishnah uses for a young woman that is not married is betula, a virgin. And it says for a virgin that gets engaged, they give her 12 months. If you remember in the story when Eliezer came to take Rivka, they said, okay, come back in 12 months to take her. And Eliezer says, no, my master said now. So they said, okay, let's ask the girl. And they called her and she says, no, I'll go right now. But we learn from that the Torah says, no, you can give her 12 months to get ready. So the Mishnah comes and says, what is the sign for the month of Elul? It's Virgo. Whatever you did not achieve in the last 11 months, you can be achieving in this month. You didn't show up to the minyan the entire 11 months. Now make sure that every day you show up to the minyan, and it's like it will be retroactively like as if you did it the entire 11 months. You didn't give charity the last 11 months, you start giving it now every day. Whatever you didn't do for 11 months, you can retroactively activate it by doing it now. Needless to say that the more the effort you do right now is basically saying to Hashem, okay, I want to do my tshuva. I'm taking on myself. It's not easy. It's not going to be easy to catch up. But I want to prove to you. Hashem says, I just want to see the will. Don't worry about the result. Don't just get discouraged if you're not able to or you failed. I want to see the effort. Hashem says, just put the effort. Let's see what happens, but put effort. Whether you're successful or not, that depends on Hashem. Just put a little bit of effort. So we want to take advantage of this month. And Be'ezrat Hashem, if you really open your mind and you leave out this door with something to put to action. The point is not to come here and to get the good food and a few good jokes. And the point is to, what am I applying tonight when I'm going out of the door? What am I taking tonight? This video is going to go online in a day, so you can see the rerun and write notes. She's smart, she's writing notes. The point is to apply. If you take something and you don't apply it, then it's like going to the mall and looking at the windows. That's it. You want to apply it. You want to take something and say, okay, what am I putting, well, how we say in Hebrew, tachles, on the table. Come with the money, put the money on the table. Don't talk big. So the point is that you want to leave this door tonight and you're saying, okay, what am I applying tonight to start paving my way? And the reality is, and that's the most important message, that Bemet, this is not a joke, Mashiach is around the corner. At any second Mashiach is coming. It's like a great wonder, how is he still not here? So there's no time to waste another day and another year or another 10 years. Any second Mashiach can come, and it's real. It's not an invention that the religious people invented. I hear all these theories. It's not. That's the reality. Go now in the time machine, 3,400 years ago, like I told you, they were also in Los Angeles. It was just called Mitzrayim. And if you would tell them then, soon your Redeemer is coming, they would laugh at you. Even when Moshe Rabbeinu came, they laughed at him. Comes this old man with a beard telling them, I just spoke with Hashem, and he told me that I'm your Redeemer. And they're like, go away from here, you old man. We don't want to hear from you. You know how many Mashiachs I get every day? I get about 50 Mashiachim every week, emailing me. I'm the one. We have to talk. It's crucial that we meet. We have a whole department for the cuckoos. The crew has a good laugh every time an email comes in. I'm the anointed one. We have to meet on Wednesday at 12 o'clock. The funniest thing is that all these Mashiachim are on Facebook. I didn't know Mashiach is hanging out on Facebook. He has a page. So the reality is, when Moshe Rabbeinu came, even then they didn't believe him. So we have to learn from our history and know that we're going to get our Moshe Rabbeinu very soon. But it also depends on us. And we have to prepare ourselves. We have to get ready for that. This is not a joke. This is not like an invention that's, okay, we've been hearing about it for 3,000 years. So our entire vision of how we look at things have to be completely different. We're in a very auspicious time. We're a very special generation. Can you imagine? 3,000 years they're waiting for the redemption and we're the one who's actually going to see it? People don't really understand. You know, I had a dream. I don't share my private things. I had a dream last week. I have all the time dreams. Somebody asked me yesterday after we spoke here, the near-death experience. And you know, when I come and share my near-death experience, everybody says, okay, now what you told me is not interesting. Tell me the juicy stuff. Tell me the interesting things. So for that you have to wait for the book to come out. But people want to hear the interesting things. Tell me something that you don't tell in lectures. So there are a lot of juicy stuff, by the way, but I had a dream last week. And in the dream, Mashiach came. And it was unbelievable. The excitement. You know, 2 weeks ago, I came here yesterday. I had 2.5 week break, and before that I was in the East Coast on a trip. And Baruch Hashem, Hashem gave me an unbelievable zchut, and we have a beautiful, huge women's center in Tzfat. And we have a beautiful learning center for men, for older men. And we have so many things going on. Baruch Hashem, unbelievable. The organization is growing and growing. And you know, with that comes a lot of financial responsibility. So it's a burden, to some extent. So I was driving in the streets of New York, and in the back of my mind, thank you, I have to worry, oh my God, you know, there's a lot of money need to be raised. We have to pay for this and the shul and the that and the meals and the that. So I don't let it affect me, but it's still sitting in the back of my mind. And as I'm driving, my eyes, something flashing catches my eyes. A very interesting number, 278, flashing on the billboard. The lottery was 278 million. And I was like, wow, can you imagine me winning $278 million? You know how many yeshivot I can build? You know how many people I can feed? You know how much Torah we can spread around the world? And I was fantasizing, wow, all it takes is $1 to buy the ticket, right? You don't need to invest too much. And I was like, is that a problem for Hashem to make sure that my number is the right number? I didn't have time even to buy the ticket. I didn't buy the ticket. But the point is that I was thinking, just imagine that you are the one that wins the 278 million. Whoa! Should I get the red Ferrari or the black one? Both. And the Lamborghini. But in my mind I was like, just imagine I will be the one. Just imagine the excitement. Oh my God! I won this 278 million! When I had the dream about the Mashiach, the excitement was like it was $278 billion. It's here. You know that my opinion is, you know how many people believe Mashiach is coming? Not 3. 0. Because if one person would believe Mashiach is coming, then Mashiach would have place to come. Yeah. But I did like this because all we need is 3 people that really would believe Mashiach is coming, and then Mashiach will come. Nobody believes on a very external way. Yeah, he's coming. Inside, nobody really believes it can actually happen. Nobody really believes that, oh my God, the world is going to change. This is not a slogan or a sticker. Can you imagine? We have to create the people that will believe that any second, you know, I live in the north of Israel, 30 kilometers from the war. Every time the jets are flying, if you listen to my videos, to my classes, sometimes you'll hear the jets. That's how low they fly. And when they fly and you barely hear them, it's just a patrol. But when you hear the jets flying so low that the walls are shaking, you know, there's action. They're not flying low because they're pretending. There's something going on. And 30 kilometers from where I live, the entire armies of the entire world is fighting there. You don't even know what's going on in Syria. What they're showing you in CNN and Fox is nothing. That's not really what's going on there. There's an unbelievable war going on there. All the armies of the entire world are surrounding in the Mediterranean, and all the countries around Israel. There's nothing problem. There's going to be problems with Israel. Israel is the most safest place in the world. But the reality is exactly like all the prophecies, all the armies of the nations are next to Israel. It says, before Mashiach is going to come, all the nations are going to gather next to Yerushalayim. That's where they are. So every time that we see the jets flying, I'm like, that's it. It can happen right now, any second. I get excited. Most people are like, okay, they're just flying. The point is to get to the point that I get excited. Oh my gosh. Like my little kid that I come with a present, you should see the excitement. You know, when I come back from the trip, I told you I'm like the hero, the number one dad in the world, because I come with all the suitcases. My kids like hyperventilate. You know, where's the presents? If we would be excited like my kids getting presents for Mashiach to come, Mashiach would already be here. And in this dream, that's a whole lecture just to explain the dream. But it looked so amazing. And there was this unbelievable evolution to the world. The world changed in front of our eyes. It was unbelievable excitement to see it and to realize, oh my God, can you imagine when Moshe Rabbeinu comes to Mitzrayim and to see with your own eyes the plagues? Can you imagine such a thing? Can you imagine, just try to imagine, this is not a fairy tale, what they say, what's going on in Mitzrayim. Can you imagine we see that? This excitement? Oh my gosh, what we were waiting for. So the point is that we have to develop this excitement. We have to develop this, wow, and we can bring the Geulah. And that's what we need to do. But it all depends on us. It all depends, it's not about what am I gaining now from this world, or how much more money am I going to make, or what status I'm going to have, if I'm going to have more friends on Facebook or less friends on Facebook. Who cares about that? We have such a responsibility. We have such a strong weight to change everything. And one person can change the entire world. And the proof to that, you know, sometimes you see one person walking into a room, the entire energy of the room changes. Because our energy is so powerful. Some people, you know, they walk into the room with a very heavy energy, the whole room is like, it's like the party pooper. Why is he sitting here? Go away from here. And sometimes one person walks in and the entire place wakes up. Our energy is so powerful. We're like a nuclear reactor of developing energy. And that's all it takes. One person can change everything. And when you understand that you are the one that has such a power, then you start applying it. And you know that I can affect now the mood in my house. You can walk in with a lot of anger because the customers annoyed you, and now the whole house is going to be upset. Or you can walk in with this unbelievable excitement, and all the house is excited. My wife always tells me, you know, when you come in, the kids always listen to you. How do they always listen to you and they don't listen to me? He says, because it's my attitude. I don't threaten them, I don't scream at them, I don't come with like, I'm better than you. The energy is completely different. So it works on a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old and a 12-year-old. So it all depends what you're projecting out. If you're projecting out a certain energy, that's how it's going to penetrate everything around you. So that's what we need to do. The month of Elul is not just to say sorry and to pray all day long and say, I was so bad and Hashem is going to barbecue me in hell. That's not the point of Elul. Elul is realizing, wait a minute, I have an opportunity here to change the world. You know that on the first day of Tishrei, Hashem removes himself from the world, and for one day, Hashem is out. He's like, I'm out. The world is sustaining on something for one day. And depending on us, if Hashem wants to come back or not. If Hashem, Baruch Hashem, for the last 5,770 years, we somehow convinced him to come back. But the reality is that we have the ability to change the code in the first day of Tishrei. And I'm on purpose saying the first day on Tishrei, not Rosh Hashanah, because a lot of people say that's the beginning of the year. The reality is that the first day of Nisan is the beginning of the year, not first day of Tishrei. It says Rosh Hashanah, in Hebrew, it should have said Tchilat Hashanah, the beginning of the year, but it says Rosh Hashanah. Rosh is a head. It means that's where the head contains everything. That's why it's not called Tchilat Hashanah, the beginning of the year. But the reality is that we're standing in such an auspicious time, such a powerful time, that if you go out of this door tonight and saying, okay, then nothing's going to happen. But if you go out from the door tonight and say, okay, how am I applying something tonight? Not in 3 days after the weekend. Oh, I'm going to wait for Labor Day weekend. That's I have a long weekend, then it's time to do something. You say, what am I doing today? Because today I can do a change. And today I can apply something to my life, that how am I making my entire surrounding a much better place? Then who's the one who's going to benefit from it the most? Me. Not everybody, not the ones that I'm doing the favor to. We're so selfish that why should I help you? What is it in for me? But I don't understand that the more I give, that's how the more I get. Our sages teach us specifically on the month of Elul, you have to increase a lot of charity. Subconsciously we say, wait a minute, I'm losing out here. If I have 1,000 and I'm giving you 900, I'm now in a deficit of 900. I'm only left with 100. This is not good for me. Comes our sage and they say, when you have a candle and you giving over the light from the first candle to the second candle, is candle number 1 losing light? No. It's making the second candle have light, and actually now candle number 1 has more light, more fire, because now he joined with another one. Candle number 1 will never lose from its fire. So that's the same with me. The more that I give, my subconscious or my ego will tell me, you're losing out, don't do it. Don't be so generous. Don't be so nice. Don't be so charitable and courteous. You're losing out. But the reality is the complete opposite. The more that I give, the more stronger I become. The more that I give, the more I enlighten everybody around me. Hypothetically or spiritually, I'm creating much more light. I'm not losing. That's the advice of the Yetzer Hara. Don't give so much. Keep some for a rainy day. So our sages come and say, no, specifically on Elul, when it's time to increase the light, then the more that you give, you are empowering yourself much more. And the more you're making space for Hashem to give you more, you're increasing the space in your vessel. So at the end of the day, we want to get the unbelievable blessing from the endless amount of brachot that Hashem has to give us. But it all depends on us. We have a very big responsibility. We have a lot of things that we need to do. And one person cannot do it. It doesn't depend on one person. It depends on everybody. We can't put our hopes into one person and say, you do it. That's what people tell me. You do it. We appoint you to do it. We'll buy you an airline ticket. And you do it. So it's not up to me. You can buy me the airline ticket if you want, but it's not up to me. It's up to everybody. And the point is not to give orders. The point is to initiate and to do. So we all have to participate. We all have to add. We all have to do something. And we're all in it together. So B'ezrat Hashem, the only thing really that's left now is to wish you an unbelievable success in your journey. And to wish you a great, sweet, happy, prosperous, healthy, successful, full of abundance new year. B'ezrat Hashem, we're going to reach to the new year way after Mashiach comes. B'ezrat Hashem should come today. And if Chas v'Shalom he decides to delay himself in another day or two, then it gives us an opportunity to make the world a little bit better. And B'ezrat Hashem, in the meantime, the more that I give out, the more that I get. And I have a very auspicious time to lay down. We have Baruch Hashem, another 30 days. We have to take advantage of every day. It's like a diet. You miss one day, it's out. And Bemet, I wish you to walk out of this door with a change in your heart and change in your mind, and with a lot of energy to say, okay, how am I applying a new start, a big change? And B'ezrat Hashem, with our effort, with all of our effort, Hashem will bless us to see the coming of Mashiach with our own eyes. Amen. And to all go back to where we belong, to Eretz Yisrael. And B'ezrat Hashem, we should merit to celebrate Rosh Hashanah in Bet HaMikdash. And B'ezrat Hashem should all have unbelievable success and health and happiness in everything that you do. Hashem will bless you with unbelievable abundance. Amen. Thank you so much for your patience.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you very much. I got my message.
Baruch Hashem. Now, on your way out, you're going to find that little young, beautiful girl, tanker. She's mine. She's not mine. She's came with me. But next to her, the CDs, take them, they're free. There's hundreds of hours of Torah. You want to hear more? If you don't want CDs, all my lectures are online, on Facebook, on YouTube, on ShmooTube, on all these places. On my website, hours and hours of Torah that you can listen. And it's a little bit dangerous. Not too long ago, this lady came to me and she told me this shocking news. And she told me, every day I find you in bed with my husband. She told me, every day I find you in bed with my husband. I was like, that doesn't sound so good. She was like, no, he's listening to your classes. I was like, Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Somebody once told me I found you with my wife in bed. So, not to know I went on a lecture somewhere and the husband is not so happy with me because I'm making his wife more observant. So she sent him to the airport to pick me up. There was a lot of tension in the car. And then before we enter the home, he's like, that every night you're in bed with me and my wife. And I'm like, oh God. Here we go. And he says, you're between us. Me, the iPad, and you talking, and then my wife. So Baruch Hashem, with all the humor, all my lectures, Baruch Hashem, are online. We're taking good advantage of technology. On your way out, please take CDs. They're free. Give them out. If you want to support the CD campaign, it's supported by donations. And another big thing is, Bemet, I told you that Baruch Hashem, we have a very big zchut that we opened this beautiful women's center, learning center in Israel. Now we opening a big shul. And now we're praying, but we have a problem that on Shabbat and on Monday and Thursday we can't pray because we don't have a Sefer Torah. So, Be'ezrat Hashem, we're writing a Sefer Torah. We're hoping to have it ready very, very soon. If you want to participate in the writing of the Sefer Torah, there's cards outside where you can write your name and you can purchase either a letter or a sentence or a chapter or whatever you want to participate in the Sefer Torah. We're actually getting 3, it's not 1 because you need 3 Sifrei Torah in the shul. One of them I'm going to be writing. The first Sefer that we're going to get, then that was always my promise to the Kadosh Baruch Hu, that the second that I have my own shul and I open a Sefer, I have my own Sefer Torah, I'll write my own Sefer Torah. And that's the Sefer Torah that, Baruch Hashem, I'm going to be writing it, which you can, Be'ezrat Hashem, take part in it. You can write your names. Anyone who gives us a name, like I told you in the beginning, I live in a very, very special place. Every Friday before Shabbat, I go into the mikveh of the Ari HaKadosh, and I go to all the graves there, hundreds of graves there. Once a month we go to Rabbi Shimon, and many other graves there. You can write me down your name, just write it down in a very clear handwriting, and not a Megillah. I cannot read Megillot. It has to be a name and something short. Just write Refuah, Parnasah, Shidduch, whatever it is. And Be'ezrat Hashem, I pray for everybody for whatever they need to be blessed with. And if you want to join all the activities that we do, you can talk to my daughter or whoever's out there. And needless to say, that there's no other better way to join such a big thing in front of the month of in front of Rosh Hashanah is to take partnership and to join in such a huge thing. Everything that I do cannot be done. Everybody gives me all the thanks all the time. I can't do anything without all the people who are supporting us. So, Be'ezrat Hashem, I encourage everybody to take a part in it. What we do is unbelievable. The reach that we have is for thousands and thousands of people in many different ways. And it's a huge zchut and a huge merit to take part of it.